The first half of this trading week was quiet in terms of macroeconomic statistics, but the second one is going to be packed with events, so traders will find enough arguments for opening deals. Now let's watch our video calendar and find out what events will set Forex afoot. On early Thursday, traders will get to know changes in foreign trade balance of China, the world's largest export-reliant economy. Obviously, trade balance is going to post a profound deficit in April under the coronavirus pandemic. In this context, the market expects a contraction both in export and imports. Fresh evidence of dismal conditions in the global economy will boost the demand for safe haven assets. In other words, gold and the yen will rise in value again. The Australian dollar is especially sensitive to China's import data. However, this time market sentiment on the Aussie will depend on the trade balance data from Australia. Analysts warn of a sharp drop in Australia's exports that will deal a blow to the Australian currency, so the USD pair will respond with a decline. Looking at the economic calendar, traders see that the flood of crucial data is yet to come. The pound sterling is facing a challenge for tomorrow. On Thursday, the Bank of England will announce policy decisions, so traders will be able to judge resilience of the British pound. The regulator is widely expected to keep the key policy rate on hold at a historic low of 0.10%. However, investors will be more interested to find out how the central bank revised its outlook on the domestic economy. Pessimistic expectations will invite the sterling bears back to the market. On Tuesday evening, the euro bears will hold in the upper hand. Sell-offs were triggered by charges from the German court against the ECB. In response, ECB President Christine Lagarde is due to speak on Thursday and Friday during a webinar hosted by Bloomberg. Investors will be alert to her comments on the charges that could affect market sentiment on the euro. Experts do not rule out another wave of selling. The report from the US Labor Department, which is due on Friday, is sure to take center stage this week. The ADP report has already shed light on employment. The data collected until April 12 turned out to be extremely negative. On Thursday, May 7th, traders will get to know a weekly update on initial jobless claims. Experts reckon that 3 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits on the week ended May 2nd. On Friday, market participants are braced for the US non-farm payrolls for April. The consensus reads that the US economy lost 21 million jobs last month, with the unemployment rate surging to 16%. The question is how the market will respond to such downbeat data. The US dollar is likely to take a nosedive as investors will stoke fears about the conditions in the US economy. So traders will rush to lock in profits from long positions on the US dollar, bearing in mind its safe haven status. One thing is certain, the US dollar is sure to grow against its Canadian counterpart. Canada is also due to report on its labor market, which is expected to shed 5 million jobs in April. Besides, analysts estimate the unemployment rate at 20%. No wonder such statistics is set to weaken the Canadian dollar. Apart from the above set data and events, it would be a good idea to pay attention to some other economic reports in the calendar. On May 7th, don't miss a report on Germany's industrial production and an IV PMI from Canada. On Friday, traders will consider a policy update by the Reserve Bank of Australia and a trade balance report from Germany. You are watching Forex Trader Calendar on InstaForex TV channel with me, Kate Tikhina. We wish you profitable deals.